Jai Gurudev, can we start?
Jai Gurudev, Hari Om Sumaji and everyone. Yeah, we can start.
Om Namah Pranavartaya Shuddha-jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So today we will continue with manana of Bhajagovindam. We finished shloka 7 yesterday. So we can start with shloka 8. I think it will be a short session, only 4 more shlokas are remaining till we come to how much Nana taught us. So Belaji, would you like to chant?
Yeah. Kate kanta kaste putrah Kate kanta kaste putrah Samsaroyam tiva vichitrah Kasya tvam kah kut ayatat Kasya tvam kah Kut ayatat tattvam chintaya tadiha bhratah Bhajagovindam Bhajagovindam Govindam bhaja mudhamate. Ka, who is, te, your, kanta, wife, kah, who is, te, your, putrah, son, sansarah ayam, this sansara, ativa, supremely, vichitrah, indeed wonderful, kasya, of whom, tvam, are you, kah, tvam, who are you, kutah, from where, tvam, ayatah, from where have you come, tattvam, of that truth, chintaya, think, tada iha, that here is, that here alone, bhratah, O brother, Bhajagovindam, seek Govind. Who is your wife? Who is your son? Supremely wonderful indeed in this samsar. Of whom are you? From where have you come? Could you please just scroll, Sumaji? I cannot read. From where have you come? Oh brother, think of that truth here. Seek Govind, seek Govind. Should I read the text also, Sumaji, or?
Yeah, if anyone wants to share anything on this verse, to me, what comes is when we use
We can't hear you, Sumaji.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now it is clear. Yeah.
So I was asking if anyone wants to share their thoughts on this shloka. 6 days basic course, we had these questions, no? Who are you? Where are you? What is to my mind? And Adi Shankara says, think of this truth right now. Did you hear me?
Yes, dear, we can hear you.
Yeah. I'm so remembering my first basic course. For even when Nana was teaching this, I was thinking of that. And now also. Yeah, you can go ahead if no one has anything to share, then you can go ahead. There is no denying the fact that the institution of home, the bonds of family relations, etc., have all a beneficial influence on individuals. And they can certainly liberate man from his egocentric selfishness. And yet, they are themselves, even at their very best, very limited. This is very powerful. They are themselves, even at their very best, very limited. They can never be an end in themselves. Man and woman living together in mutual love and respect as a couple and growing to the dignified status of a father and mother have much to learn from each other. Both get well trained by their mutual association if they live in a true spirit of togetherness. Both get well trained by their mutual association if they live in a true spirit of togetherness. But ordinarily, in their folly, they grow into such an unhealthy state of attachment to each other that the very balm becomes a poison. According to the Hindu Shastras, man and woman in wedlock must live, no doubt, in a spirit of togetherness, but the Acharyas insist, let there be space between the two. Let there be no clinging attachment to each other, which is unhealthy for both. Family is the field of trial and test, wherein the individuals can grow into healthier personalities, but it is not in itself the final destination. Live life with detachment at home. It is but life's college. Mistake it not as life's main field of achievement. This is so true, no? Mistake it not as life's main field of achievement. There is so much anxiety in this. If all philosophical declarations cannot be practically lived, philosophy itself becomes an utopian idealism, preached by a poetic visionary, and therefore must fail to influence life or culture. To live in attachment and to sink into the family mire seems to be natural for man and woman. Mind takes to it as readily as the duck to water. Therefore, the philosophy must prescribe a technique by which one can grow into the required state of detachment. That technique is here described. Intelligent enquiry is the only antidote for the follies of delusion. The method of enquiry to be adopted is being indicated here. Acharya Shankara asks us to enquire, who is your wife? Who is your son? On analysis, we shall find that the beloved wife was a simple daughter of her father until in marriage you were tied to her. Life being so uncertain, nobody can foresee who is to part first. And in case it is your lot to precede her in death, there again she will be living as a widow. Thus, in life, man and woman are born independently, and each one must die and depart alone. In the pilgrimage from birth to death, in the travel from life to death, at a certain junction, each met with the other, and thereafter traveled together, no doubt, serving each other, as all good-hearted travelers always do. The companionship parts when the destination is reached. By thus analyzing, one shall realize the right attitude one should have in maintaining a healthy relationship with the world. So too is the son. When you analyze your relationship, you will see that the son has become yours only after his birth. Before that, it was a fetus. Before that, it was only a seed in your loins. And that itself came from the food you assimilated. The food came from the earth. Thus, a clod of earth in its various manifestations became the fruit, the food, the seed, the fetus, and the child. And therefore, the child itself is nothing but an effect of the ultimate cause, the mud. If you analyze yourself as father, you too are nothing but the product of a clod of mud, of another period of time and place. One piece of mud gets attached to another piece of mud. How strange, how powerful is delusion, Maya. The empirical life, the samsara, is a fascination only to the thoughtless. Intelligently meditate upon them. Inquire to whom do I belong? To what factor divine does my very existence owe its continuance? To what factor divine does my very existence owe its continuance? From where have we all come to play this passing show in the field of this world? Where are we going? When once departed from here, what is our destination? If there be thus a source from which we have come and a destination to which we are going, what exactly should then be our duty? Now and here, what should be our attitude to things and beings and the infinite happenings that crowd around us, march through our existence here? O brother, Bhrata, Please contemplate. Shankara is assuming now not the status of a teacher advising the taught, but he talks as an elder brother would to a erring younger brother. However, it is to be noted that there are several other readings. Instead of brother, there is a reading which means mad one, Brantha, Bratha and Brantaha. This is also quite appropriate in the context of the stanza, because a madman is one who is not acting as he should. The deluded fool, in his extreme attachment to things of the world outside, when he lives expressing an incapacity to think rightly and act properly, is also a mad one in life. Anyone wants to share your thoughts on this stanza? I'll quickly get my charger. Yeah, please share what you think about this.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I mean, every relationship, I mean, he has, and the way he has put forward the stanza, like Bhranti and Bhrata, that is also so powerful. And if we're in reality, if we see the existence of all the human beings, whether they are related or not related, I mean, they all come from the earth and we are going back to the same earth. That's what he's trying to say, that, and we are, but yet we, knowing the fact also, still we are so much clinging on to those relationships, and I mean, thinking about past and future only, not remaining in now. Yeah, that's what, again, like when Guruji says, no, live in the present moment. And who are you? Who is your wife? Who is your husband? Who is your son? Who is your daughter? I think that question we need to again and again ask our own self. And the way Swamiji has described the very beginning of the fetus, the food what we eat has created, and the food has come from the earth only. So in fact, it's all, if we look at the macro level, it is all one. And in Atmabodh, as we have seen, no, the sthula sharir ka, sukshma sharir ka. So it's beautifully described. My takeaway is Bhranta and Bhrata. So nice. I mean, Bhranta in Sanskrit means you are deluded. You are not able to think or perceive correctly what is right and what is wrong. The difference between Maya and
the we are caught up in the Maya of the world.
Yeah, so we are all
that delusion. Yeah. I am reminded of chapter 2, where Swami Suryapada said, no, that Yagya Bhav, because everything is Parjanya. Because of the rain, the food comes, and the food has given rise to all these bodies. I don't remember the shloka, but it is chapter 2. I don't know if anyone can recall that. That he says, no, each one of us are some part in this whole machinery, and each one has a role to play. So what is your role right now in this lifetime? Are you thinking about it? But we are caught up in all this relationship and attachments because we are so deluded by the Maya of the world.
Yes, he began also with the marriage as an association. I mean, how we can beautifully convert that association if it is taken in a positive way. So it's very nice, wonderful. I think all couples should have only this stanza during their 7 Saptapadi.
Yeah, Gurudev also says, no, that when two lines go parallel, they go forever for infinity. So this togetherness, they should have that common understanding of life or common goal. But if that is not matching, then somewhere you will meet and you will cross and go in your own karmic pattern. And then you are, because of your attachment and your concepts in the mind, you get so stressed out with your life.
Yes, we remain in BMI only, body, mind, intellect, only at this level. I mean, we need to go beyond that, no? Like in Atma Bodh we have. So it's very beautiful.
And then this last paragraph, he says, no, he's not telling him like a teacher, he calls the other person Branta or brother, who was trying to learn all the grammar. He calls him as like an elder brother advising to a crying younger brother. And in Saundarya Lahari, Gurudev says this, that if you have no relationship with anything in the world, then you don't need a guru. But if you have a relationship of any kind, then you do need somebody, a mentor. So I was reminded of that he calls this person as a brother who is living in ignorance, and tells him, where have you come? Where are you going? What are you? What is your role right now? Think about that. Because
It is
everything else we have.
nice. He's telling this as a, not as a guru, but as a brother, and he's like he's labeling him as already the Branta, means the mad one who is already deluded.
Because everything we have gathered from this world, all relationship, wealth, whatever else we've got from the world. And when we depart, everything goes back to the earth. So what is our role in this body, in this lifetime? What is our role? Think about that. So it is self-inquiry, who am I? That's where he's ultimately leading. That's what I am getting. Who am I? What am I? That question I have to inquire into. That is the purpose of life. And yet, live the role that you are in. It's a balancing act. Yeah. Go to the next stanza.
Yeah. Satsangatve nisangatvam, satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nishalatvam, nirmohatve nishalatvam, निश्चलतत्वं, निश्चलतत्वे जीवनमुक्तिः, भज गोविन्दं, भज गोविन्दं, गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. Satsangatve, through the company of the good. Nisangatvam, there arises non-attachment. Nisangatve, through non-attachment. Nimohatvam, there arises freedom from delusion. Nirmohatve, through the freedom from delusion. Nishchal, immutable. Tattvam, reality. Nishchal Tattve, through the immutable reality. Jivan Muktihi comes the state of liberated in life. Bhajagovindam, seek Govind. Through the company of the good, there arises non-attachment. Through non-attachment, there arises freedom from delusion. When there is freedom from delusion, there is the immutable reality. On experiencing immutable reality, there comes the state of liberated in life. Seek Govind, seek Govind.
This is so beautiful, no?
Yeah.
And
Meditate.
To some extent, it is happening. I'm experiencing this in my life through the association with the art of living.
Very true,
I
Sumaj.
feel.
Yes. It is so beautiful, really.
So this company, this association is so powerful. Company of the good, company of the enlightened. Then wisdom comes, delusion goes, and then you come to this immutable reality. You're able to have a move
Yeah, we
towards
are so
liberation.
grateful to the living Guru
Very,
in
very
our
lucky. Yeah. On experiencing immutable reality, there comes the state of liberated in life. From all that has been said so far, it is very clear that to live in the world, earning and saving, it is not in itself a real profit. To live in attachment is certainly an ill-rewarding program of existence. To waste our life in the lusts and passions of our flesh is dissipating ourselves in all our faculties. Through the Pratipaksha Bhavana, we must try to withdraw from them all and spend the energy so conserved in seeking and serving Govind. It is easy to appreciate the logic of this philosophy, but not always so easy to appreciate its canons. And indeed, it is almost impossible all of a sudden to live in its recommended way of life. This difficulty is experienced by all students of philosophy, everywhere at all times. All true philosophers must appreciate this logical difficulty in the student and provide for him various practical methods by which the poor seeker, in his frail spiritual strength at this moment, may be helped to walk the path. All true philosophers must appreciate this logical difficulty in the student and provide for him various practical methods by which the poor seeker, in his frail spiritual strength at this moment, may be helped to walk the path. Very nice, very true. Else, philosophy itself would become an impractical utopia. Acharya Shankara talks directly to his devotees at all times. He is not the style of the Rishi declarations, wherein the inspired seer, closing his eyes, roared and thundered in panting words of his infinite joy of the impossible, which he has rendered possible. These frightening commandments, gushing down from the soft flowing hearts of the peaceful masters, constitute the Upanishads. So beautiful, no? The way Swami Chinivayananda has described this. Shankara, the commentator, serving as a missionary in the country, with the definite goal of cultural revival to be achieved, never seems to forget the quality and caliber of his listeners' intellect. In the stanza under review, Shankara gives a simple ladder of progress, by carefully climbing which a seeker can comfortably arrive at the highest reaches of perfection. In spite of our appreciation of the rationale in a philosophy so far discussed, the fact still is that we are living every hour of our existence amidst temptations of life, where wealth and women are main enchantments. Artificially, I can build up an intellectual barrier against my passion and lust, and thus I may restrain them from their onward flow for some time. But the objects of fascination are so numerous and their enchantments so powerful that the mighty sorcery of the sensuous world is too irresistible for an individual seeker to fight against. In order to reinforce the efforts of a student in his early days of seeking, and to give him more courage and strength, Shankara advises him to have plenty of the company of the good, satsang. As a result of the practice of Pratipaksha Bhavana, the student is no doubt holding the company of good thoughts within himself. This is to protect him from the rising waves of passion within. But in order to fight against the hordes of temptations in the everyday world, he needs a fortress around him, which is drawn from his association with the good people. The company that we keep is very important. The worldly seekers are carelessly choosing their friends and are indiscriminate in choosing their associations. The chances are that he, in spite of his knowledge and determination, will be snatched away in bad company by the powerful waves of blind passions. To be in the company of the good is to be with those who are devotees of the Lord and are themselves seekers of the highest. In such an assembly, there is a power created, which is in the congregation, erects a powerful fortress against the magic of the world outside. As a result of the influence of the good company, the human mind develops steadily a capacity to withdraw from the sensuous fields of attraction and thus discovers in itself the secret of detachment, nisangatvam. And this happens naturally, no, without any effort. But we have to be in the company of good continuously. When the sense of attachment is punched away from the inner bosom, delusion, moha, and all the delusionary false values that we give to the world can no more remain. It is always the mind that puts a value upon the objects, and thereafter the inert objects of the world become capable of enchanting that mind. When once the mind has started seeing the things as they are, because the mind has redeemed itself from its own vasana encrustations, the immutable reality is glimpsed by the mind. When this experience becomes more and more established in us, that individual becomes a God-realized saint, liberated in life, Jivan Mukta. The stanza reminds us of the ladder of fall that Gita describes. Yeah. Glancing. Oh, anyone remembers that? The ladder of fall. There also it is attachment to senses. And then to delusion, then judgment goes, intellect goes, when everything goes. Sarvanasham. I don't remember which stanza, but it is there in Bhagavad Gita as well. The ladder of fall. Glancing over the contents of these two stanzas, it is evidently clear that Gita is showing the ladder of the downfall, while Shankara is showing the ladder of the upward climb. This is yet another reading of the stanza, where instead of immutable reality, Nishchalatvam, we have steadfastness, Nishchalitva. When the delusion of the mind is wiped away, mind gains steadfastness in meditation, and with this steadfast meditation, the experience of the highest and the consequent state of liberation in life, Jivan Mukti, is easily attained. Any thoughts?
Could you please read that footnote, Sumaji?
When a man thinks of objects, attachments for them arises. From attachment, desire is born. From desire arises anger. This is Bhagavad Gita. From anger comes delusion. From delusion, loss of memory. From loss of memory, the destruction of discrimination. From the destruction of discrimination, he perishes. Bhagavad Gita 62 and 63, chapter 2. This is the ladder of fall.
Yeah, what you were telling, right? And loss of Vivek Buddhi.
Shankara is giving the ladder of climb, upward climb. So nice. Comes to steadfastness. Just go back to that stanza. It's very nice. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nishchalatatvam, nishchalatatve jivan muktaha. So nice. Some good company, you come to non-attachment. Non-attachment leads to removal of the delusion. When delusion is gone, you are steadfast. When you are steadfast, you are liberated in life. Very nice. So it is the satsanga. And the downfall is attachment to objects in the world. When you're attached, desire is born. From desire, anger is born. From anger, delusion comes. And from delusion, memory is lost. When memory is lost, the power of discrimination is lost. And with the destruction of viveka, everything perishes. Awesome. Anyone wants to add anything? So never miss satsang. Yesterday I saw a YouTube video about Gurudev saying the same thing. With whatever state of mind you come for a satsang, art of doing satsang, when you go back, that is totally wiped out and you are in this state of elevated consciousness. So he says, never miss a satsang.
Yeah,
And
even
I
if
think
it's
that is,
online satsang, Gurudev satsang, online meditation and satsang, they are so powerful. I mean, you really become hollow and empty. And you go into that state of bliss.
I'll share that video. I'll look up YouTube and share that video in the group. Just short question and answer. Satsangatvam, Nisangatve.
Nisangatve,
Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve, Nishchalatatvam, Nishchalatatvam, Jivan Muktaha. So easy.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, no? For contemplation.
Yeah. And I also realized that people who are attached to the world or think about the worldly achievements and all, by coming in contact with somebody who thinks of the opposite, Pratipaksha Bhavana, even they are benefited. I have noticed that. Because somebody who has never entered into spirituality or religion, who doesn't think the existence of any higher power and all that, but even when they come in contact with somebody, even for a short while, when they come in contact with someone who is on the spiritual path, a small desire arises in them to seek this. I have seen people do that. Of course, they don't come back into spirituality and all that, but somewhere it benefits them. Their thinking softens. So just satsanga is so powerful. Company of the good is so powerful in every little way. Yeah, we can do stanza 10.
Yeah. वयसि गते कः कामविकारः वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारो क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारो ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते वयसि गते when vayasi gate sati, when the age youthfulness has passed, kah, where is kam vikarah, lust and its play, shushke neere sati, when water is evaporated, dried up, kah, where is kasarah, where is the lake, kshine vitte sati, when the wealth is reduced, kah, where is parivarah, the retinue, gnate tattve sati, when the truth is realized, kah, where is sansarah, the samsar, Bhajagovindam,
Wow.
Sikh Govind. This he said in the previous shloka stanza as well, no? To begin with, that when you are retired and when you do not earn any money, then the family relations are different from where.
Yeah. Nobody inquires, nobody is there to talk.
Yes. When the age youthfulness has passed, where is lust and its play? When water is evaporated, where is the lake? When the wealth is reduced, where are the retinue? When the truth is realized, where is samsar? Sikh Govind, Sikh Govind.
In 4 epigrammatic statements, Shankara drives home to the student's understanding that where the cause has ended, the effects cannot continue. When age and its youthfulness have passed away, where is lust and its play? The maddening lust of blinding passion can remain with one only as long as the skin is tight, the muscles are hard, the blood is stormy, and the individual is young and hearty. Lust springs only from youthfulness. When the cause is removed, the effects cannot remain all by themselves. When waters are dried up, the lake can no longer continue to exist. The dried up lake or tank can only express as a bed. Only when the waters are there that they can express themselves as lake or tank and serve the world as such. So long as the waters of desire are playing in the mind, the passionate youth vigorously strives to fulfill them. But when once the desires have dried up, how can the man of action strive to acquire and court? When wealth is reduced, where are the relations, dependents, supporters, in short, one's entire retinue? They follow behind an individual only as long as he can look after them, and they can profit by him. When the capacity in the individual has ended, the retinue also disappears. And wealth is an uncertain possession. Nobody can say when and how she quotes an individual or when she will, without regret, shamelessly push him into penury and starvation and depart in another direction towards another individual. With these 3 examples, it is clear that when the cause is absent, the effect is also absent. Carrying this analogy into the subjective realms of spiritual perfection, Shankara asks the question, when truth is realized, where is samsara? The ignorance of the post gives us the delusionary vision of the ghost and the consequent fears. At the non-apprehension of the reality, misapprehensions start, and they provide the host of sorrows for the deluded. Due to the vasana fumes called ignorance, avidya, the perfection is not experienced, and therefore man, revolting against his own sense of imperfections, desires, plans, works, and strives to acquire and possess the outer world, whereby he hopes that he can seek a fuller fulfillment in life. Through the processes explained in the previous stanza, when the vasanas have been eliminated, meaning when the ignorance of the reality is ended, all the misconceptions also must end. The delusionary sense of the individuality arising from the myth of the mind and its dream objects constitute the painful sufferer amidst the finite objects. So the delusionary sense of individuality, this is where we are all caught up. The delusionary sense of individuality arising from the myth of the mind and its dream objects constitute the painful sufferer amidst the finite objects. So when this individuality disappears, the sufferer also disappears. So true. Gita, Bhagavan says, no, see one in all and all in one. That individuality disappears. When once the vasanas have ended, the cause has been eliminated, and naturally, therefore, the effects cannot exist by themselves. When the truth is realized, where is the empirical phenomenon of finite objects and their unlimited tyrannies? here and then is the cause for our conditioning in our inner life, which in its turn created the chaos of an ego and its meaningless achievements and mad roamings of the individuality. When this inner vasana condition has been changed, the ego has been eliminated, and when there is no ego, the world perceived, felt, and thought of must necessarily recede into nothingness. As a phenomenal play of enchantments gets obliterated, the experience of the infinite consciousness comes to reveal as the state of truth. And at this experience, the individuality ends and the universal consciousness becomes the very nature of the meditator. The knower of the Brahman becomes Brahman. And for this, there is no other God other than that which was discussed in the previous stanza. Starting with Satsanga. The knower of the Brahman becomes Brahman. So nice, no? This is the goal, to become Brahman.
Sorry, Sumaji, there is a note 1 and 2.
Brahmavit Brahmaiva Brahmaiti. That is 1. And 2 is Nanya Pataha Vidyate Ayanaya. I don't know what it means.
Yeah, Brahmavit Brahma Eva Bhavati. Mundak Upanishad. Brahmavit Brahma Eva Bhavati. He becomes Brahmagna. The one who knows Brahman becomes Brahman. Nanyaha Panthaha Vidyate Ayanaya. Shweta Shvatara. That I don't know. Nanaji can explain that.
This is from which Upanishad?
This is from Mundak Upanishad, the first one. Brahmavita Brahma Eva Bhavati.
Okay. Anyone has any thoughts on stanza 10? The cause disappears, the effect is also gone.
Yeah, that is the major takeaway for that stanza. In the presence of cause, the effect is natural, but natural. In the absence of cause, the effect is also gone.
So nice. So when the truth is realized, samsara is not there. Very nice. So that is where we are at. Strive to at least remove as much vasanas as possible. Put some effort probably, but it is the grace that ultimately erases all that. Yeah. So we go to the 11th stanza.
Okay.
This is where Manaji ended today.
Yeah, till 11th he did, no? Or till 10th he did,
No, till 11th he did.
Okay. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Harati nimeshat kalah sarvam. Maya mayamidam akhilam bhutva. Maya mayamidam akhilam bhutva. Brahmapadam tvam Pravisha viditva Bhajagovindam Bhajagovindam Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Ma, do not. Kuru, take. Dhan, in possession. Jan, in the people. Yauvan, in youth. Garvam, pride. Harati, loots away, takes away. Nimeshat, in a moment. Kalah, the time. Sarvam, all this. Mayamayam, full of illusory nature. Idam, this. Akhilam, all. Budhva, after knowing. Brahmapadam, the state of Brahman. Tvam, you. Pravisha, enter into. Viditva, after realizing. Bhajagovindam, seek Govind. Take no pride in your possession, in the people at your command, in the youthfulness that you have. Time loots away all these in a moment. Leaving aside all these, after knowing their illusory nature, realize the state of Brahman and enter into it. Seek Govind, seek Govind.
Basically, non-attachment, not attached to people, possession, and yavana, youth, because time will take it all away. So knowing the illusionary nature of these, realize the state of Brahman and enter. So there's a sense of urgency, no? Because time is the factor. Because time is only now.
Yes, Kala Chakra, I mean, it is so fast. You don't realize, we still feel, no, that we have just begin our life and it is coming towards the end.
False vanities and hollow conceits tie man to the wheel of woe in life, samsara. The empirical process of change and the consequent jerks affect man only when he keeps the relationship of himself with the world of objects, feelings, and thoughts through his body, mind, and intellect. By this, he creates a false attitude to things and beings around him as my people, my things, my joys, my ideas, etc. These false vanities throw man out of himself to suffer the storms of finite and the floods of change. Suffer the storms of finitude and the floods of change. All these are really the unavoidable contents of the objective world. Wealth, social connections, and family status, youth and its vigor, these form the tottering pillars upon which is built the platform of sense enjoyment. This drama of passion and lust can end only in utter dissipation and personality exhaustion. These have been already discussed and clearly shown in the earlier verses. Wealth is never constant, nor can it ever remain faithful. She must move from hand to hand, visiting all. Youth can never last for long. Relationship in the world, the social status, popularity, and the power of all these are indicated by the term people, jana. All of them entirely depend upon the fancy of the moment, the mood of the hour. This world of illusionary appearances is a field of preoccupation only to the delusionary ego, which springs from one's own identification with the perceiver, feeler, thinker in oneself. Seek the knower. So ego springs from one's own identification with the perceiver, feeler, thinker in oneself. You need to seek the knower of it all, the principle that illumines all experiences, Sakshi Chaitanya, in the very core of one's own bosom. Realize that this consciousness, I am Atma, presiding over all our inner experiences, is the consciousness infinite everywhere. So dropping the individual identity, the perceiver, feeler, thinker. Drop that and go to the knower, the one who illumines all experiences. Witness consciousness, no? Gurudev says.
Yes, letting go of doership.
Realize that this consciousness, I am Atma, presiding all over our inner experiences, is the consciousness infinite everywhere. So this is where Adi Shankara is taking us. He's wanting us to experience that and stay there. So nice to get this opportunity. Even to know this wisdom, and a glimpse of such a wisdom. Anyone has any thoughts to share? Please do. We'll just, if not, we'll just read the 12th stanza and end the session. Today, everybody's quiet.
Yeah, only two of us are talking, Sumaji.
We are listening.
Yeah, these are great insights, very practical also.
This is so good.
Companionship.
Lost to absorb.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true, Dr. Renu. Thoughts to absorb.
Lot of practical instructions which we need to implement right now and stay in there. No more time to waste. Your house is on fire, he says, no? In the beginning. When the house is on fire, no nice instructions. Just get on and move on. Get on to this wisdom and live in that. Yeah, we can conclude by just reading the 12th stanza, so that continuity.
Okay. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah. Shishirvasantau punarayatah. Kalah kridati gacchatyayut. Kalah kridati gacchatyayutat. Tadapi na munchatyaşavayuh. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam bhaja mudhamate. Dhanyavad. You tomorrow Nanaji will take, no? Sumaji, we
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
read the Pratipadartha.
No, Nanaji will explain. No, if you
Yeah,
want,
yeah,
you can read it silently. Each one of you read it silently.
Yeah.
Nanaji will give us the explanation. Once you've read it, you can close your eyes. Absorb what you have learned today and what action you would like to take in your own life. And make a commitment to be in that wisdom, to live that wisdom. Action is needed. Then change flows and the force gets destroyed and no more effect and no more suffering, no more ignorance. Jai Hind. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Devaji.
Dhanyavad. Sumaji,
Thank
Dhanyavad.
you.
I'll end the session.